Hi, my name is Brandon Fertig. This is Minneapolis Expression from my apartment. Well, the reason why I'm taping this is because the majority of the show today is going to be on location throughout the Twin Cities during the Rally for the Republic. And the Rally for the Republic was a convention of sort brought together by Representative Ron Paul. I don't know how many of you are familiar with him, but Representative Ron Paul was a Republican nominee. And after a failed bid for that nominee, he then decided to start a political action committee known as the Campaign for Liberty. Now, the Campaign for Liberty is an organization that specializes in helping people in their local political endeavors try to, of course, be victorious and become successful in spreading the message that Dr. Paul really embodies. Now, even though Dr. Paul, Representative Ron Paul didn't get the presidential nomination, he still was very successful and turned a lot of heads for his grassroots support. He made a lot of money he never got around to spending, and thus able to fund this Campaign for Liberty and as well the Rally for the Republic, which took place at the same time as the Republican National Convention. See, when Dr. Paul got out of the race a few months ago, which today being September 13th, then being, I suppose sometime in July or so, June or something like that, he then decided to start this campaign. He then decided to have a rally at the same time as the Republican National Convention, but hold it over in Minneapolis. And Minnesota was a fairly large supporter of Dr. Paul. Last February at the caucus, he got 16% of the primary, and at the state convention, 40% of the delegates there were Ron Paul supporters. So he has a strong Minnesota following, and so decided to come up here to Minneapolis to coincide with the Republican National Convention across the river in St. Paul. Plus, with all the media in town, it would be very opportunistic. So Ron Paul came, and so did a lot of his followers, as well as the rally itself taking place Tuesday, I believe September 2nd at the Target Center in Minneapolis. There were also different events going on in the days surrounding it. Music and festivities and good times had by all, but more importantly political training, speeches, and just an overall sense of urgency and motivation brought about, and education as to how we can communicate with the public, how to campaign effectively, and really for the first time bringing together this many type of like-minded freedom lovers to a place that they can learn how to effectively be an influence back where they're from. And they came from all over. So when we call this episode, or when we call this show Minneapolis Expression, truly there was a very expressive time here not long ago here in Minneapolis, but truly you need to give the entire nation credit, because there were several people who came from all over the United States, and even some who came from Canada, to come and express themselves right here in Minneapolis. So anyway, I'm going to show you some of the footage, and then I'll come back to you afterwards to sort of wrap things up. Anyway, I hope you enjoy what you see on this episode of Minneapolis Expression. Hi, I'm here for the Great American Walk for Freedom from Midway in St. Paul to Loring Park in Minneapolis. It's a walk that's been taking place for a couple of weeks, I believe, all the way from Green Bay here to Minneapolis. Yesterday they crossed the border from Hudson into St. Paul here, and now this morning we're going from Midway to Loring Park. And here's another scan of the group who are to be making the walk this morning, and I'm told that we'll be being met by Ron Paul somewhere around the University of Minnesota area. So it's quite exciting.
We don't make a lot of money, so it's not too big.
Hi, what's your name?
Adam Mason.
Adam Mason. You're from?
Centralia, Washington.
State.
Yes.
Okay, and you came all this way for the Rally for the Republic, right?
Yes.
Okay. Why did you come all the way from Washington for this event?
I do what I can to save the country.
Do you think the country is in danger?
Totally danger. This will probably be the good old days.
This will be the good old days that we talk about when we're old and gray?
I mean, next year.
Next year? Spell out a couple of the threats that you see are looming specifically.
North American Union, socialism, taking away every freedom we have now, getting rid of the Constitution.
Do you enjoy Minnesota so far?
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
All right, well, I'm glad to hear that. I do a local show called Minneapolis Expression.
Dr. Paul, have you heard about all the raids in Minneapolis of the homes and spaces of people that are organizing?
I heard that. Have any of those homes been friends of ours?
We
don't know.
I'll tell you what, they're all friends of ours because if they're illegal ratings, they're our friends.
Yeah.
We're here at the Earl Brown Heritage Center, where the Campaign for Liberty is hosting their political training. Today, Labor Day, September 1st, and the Campaign for Liberty has now had a picnic. Is having a picnic here from 2 to 5, and I believe Ron Paul and both Bob Barr will be here. Bob Barr being the Libertarian candidate for president, and there's quite a few people here, which you'll see in a second. But just another afternoon of people from all over the United States sharing these similar freedom beliefs, kicking out and having a good time like I guess all other gatherings are. But I've never been part of something with this large of a like-minded group, referring to the libertarian type of agenda. So again, it's a wonderful first for me, and perhaps a wonderful first for the area, and maybe even heck, the U.S., I don't know. But anyway, Ron Paul and Bob Barr will be here, and we'll enjoy it. Have a look. Hey, go ahead.
We just flew in from Atlanta, Georgia, and even though you all here don't speak quite the same as we do, I feel right at home. You see these Ron Paul signs here, and you sense the excitement for liberty and freedom here. It's just like being back home in Georgia, and that's really our message, what unites all of us, whether we're from Georgia, whether we're from Minnesota, whether we're from California or Colorado or anywhere else. We are united. What unites us, what brings us together, is not just a deep and abiding faith and understanding of freedom, but recognizing that if we don't stand up now and fight with every ounce of energy that we have, we may not, probably will not, almost certainly will not have the opportunity to save freedom in America again in our lifetime. Folks, it's that bad. It is that important.
So the next on the agenda is let's see what we call this, some sort of concert here up in Blaine at the sports stadiums where the soccer team plays, the Ron Paul National Celebration, and just a night of music and camaraderie. So we'll take some pictures and have some fun.
29% at that point said we should be out immediately. But there's one other thing I love pointing out to people like Bill O'Reilly, who say that the troops are in Iraq, so we need to support the troops and their mission. Well, that's a load of crap, and you know it. Bill O'Reilly is a chicken hawk who never served a day in his life, who doesn't know what the Constitution means. Ron Paul. Now, it's been an honor for me, coming from the anti-war movement, to be a part of the freedom movement and a part of the Campaign for Liberty. And the Campaign for Liberty is the way that we are going to take the torch